Can't serve two masters. It ain't going to happen. This is what is taking place here. Lest don't be a cursed thing like it. If you bring it into your house, you're going to be a cursed thing like it. Whatever you bring that is a curse, you're going to become like it. That's why you can't have mercy and truth and righteousness and peace have kissed each other in your house. Your house is a cursed place. That's what his house was. The disease and sickness came upon him that was evil. His house became a cursed house. Because he went down in Egypt for help. He didn't seek Yahweh. A minister. They declare he a minister. One seek Yahweh. To say that Yahweh, you give it and you take it away. But I won't turn from you. I won't leave you. If you gave me and put me in this earth, and you take me from this earth, I have another place that I can see you face to face with a new body and a new spirit within my mind that I ate the fruit of my doing in this earth. I wouldn't deny your name. I wasn't going to go off of folly. I wasn't going to go and deal in mischief. And I wasn't going to be a hypocrite. But you shall early detest it, hate it. And you shall early or harbor it. Stay away from it. For it is a cursed thing. I want you to read this and see what a cursed thing is. And understand what you have brought in your midst of your dwelling. The Hebrews. The Gentiles. They need to be grafted in. Because the Gentile is trying to make their own doctrine unto salvation. There's only one tree of life. And Yeshua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. You can give him another title. But he's going to say, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity, I never knew you. Reason why he never knew him, because he never got grafted in. And they try to use the title that came out of Rome. Yeshua came out of the tribe of Judah. One of Jacob's 12 sons. And if you're going to be grafted in, you're going to have to come just like Cornelius did in the book of Acts 10 chapter. Being a Roman soldier, he didn't serve Rome, didn't want Rome, and wouldn't worship their idols and deities at their table that he had for him or in his house that he brought him in. He stayed with the Spirit, and he wanted to see and know one Creator that brought salvation to him and brought Peter down there to show him the way of salvation because he got grafted in. Ruth got grafted in with Naomi. She wouldn't go back to her way of the image and idol and deity of her people. She got grafted in among the Hebrew people. You don't want to be grafted in today. So when the sickness and disease come upon you, you do what Yahweh said you're going to do. You're going to seek the physician. You're going to seek him. In the book of Deuteronomy, 28th chapter. I can't read the whole thing, but I want you to read the whole thing. And I want you to understand what Yahweh said here concerning these things. And in verse 15, from 28, verse 1, verse 15, these are the curses that came upon them. And you can see all these things overtook the Hebrew people. The African people, Hebrews, has been laboring in this. And only one that has came out of it is the one that have repented for the remission of sin and walked in the newness of life and been born again and converted and their sin blotted out. Because these things are still pursuing after you. Because Yahweh allowing it so. Verse 22. Yahweh shall smite you with a consumption. Now notice this, what he said he's going to smite him with. And with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with a extreme burning, with the sword, and with blasphemy, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. He said these things gonna be after you until you perish, unless you turn to him. He's the one called off the pursuer. He's the one said, leave them alone. They have came to me. And coming to him, he's the one gonna heal them. Because now he gonna do it through his will. Because he know you need time to recover from what been pursuing after you, trying to overtake you. Now you're learning about him. And you're not them no more, the physician. You're learning about how he healing you. And these things won't pursue after you no more. And the heaven that is over your head shall be brass, and the earth that is under you shall be iron. All these things took place in verse 27. And Yahweh will smite you with the bouch, balls of Egypt, and with the emerald, hemorrhoids, and with the scribe, and with the inching, whereof you cannot be healed. Now he gonna bring up, hemorrhoid will attack you. It can come from not drinking enough water, it can come from sitting on hard places, or it can come from you being perverted. Now, when this take place, Yahweh know he still can heal his people that come to him. He's the one that healeth us, not the physician. If you go into the physician, you have turned your back on your maker and creator of the universe. Yahweh shall smite you with madness and blindness and astonishment of the mind. All these things was going to take place upon them. All these right here were going to come after them. And I'm going to tell you now the siege that was going to take place upon them. Here goes the siege. Verse 49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies. A nation whose tongue you shall not understand. The Hebrew people are going to be lost through this captivity. But before they're lost in this captivity and taken into a place of a nation that they can understand their language, they was doing something that he allowed it to take place. A nation of fiery continent, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of the cattle and the fruit of thy land, until you be destroyed, which also shall not leave you either corn, wine, or oil, or increase of their kin, or flock of their sheep, until he have destroyed you. And he shall besiege you in all your gates, until your high and fire wall come down, wherein you trusted in your surrounding, that it couldn't be overtaken. But some nation came in, took your walls down, and took you, and took everything of the spoils from you, and left you with nothing that were remaining. And this is what you did. Throughout all your land, and he shall besiege you in all your gate throughout all your land, which Yahweh your creator had given you. Given you now. He's taking it back from you. Let's see. And you shall eat the fruit of your own body. Cannibalism. He'll let that spirit come upon you. Why do you think Satan is showing you so many apocalypse movies of flesh-eating people eating one another? Because these men got this from the scripture, how Yahweh brought this upon his people, and they're entertaining you, showing you that you would do the same thing if a cease came upon you. And there's no more cattle, there's no more corn, there's no more wine, no more inherit of the land producing it increase. The flesh of your sons and of your daughters, which Yahweh your creator had given you in the siege and in the straining, wherewith thy enemy shall distress you, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat. He ain't going to give away it. He going to eat them. He going to kill them and eat them. Eat, I mean, in Africa. Boil people in a pot and add them. Children. Children bones are more tender. He was eating human flesh. This was in Africa in the 60s and 70s. Because he had nothing left him in the siege and in the weariness of the land, wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee in all your gate. The tender and delicate women among you, which you would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicacy. Now this is showing you how marvelous, how glorified she is. She wouldn't have set her feet upon the ground. She would eat her own children during the seas. This is what she did. Her eyes shall be even toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughters, and toward her young ones that come out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly. Secretly. These kind of people will do it. In the siege, and in the weariness wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee in your gate. Notice what he said. If thou would not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may reverence this glory and fearful name, Yahweh your creator, then Yahweh will make the plague wonderful, and the plague of thy seed, even great pledge, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon you all disease of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto you. Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law. Now that thing that is not written in the book of the law, that Yahweh gonna release upon the people that should have reverenced his holy name. When you go down in Egypt, I'm gonna stop here. Right, the book of this law, them will Yahweh bring upon you until you be destroyed. This is why you go down in Egypt for help. And that's why the Egyptians give names of things that they have created. But then when new things come in, they seek one another to get a name for it, to call it, so you will know what is killing you until you destroy it. In the book of Isaiah, and I'm going to share this with you for you to understand the rebellion of you. This was happened with the people that you have put before you as leaders. And they're not prophets or apostles to lead you unto righteousness, unto salvation, that you can walk in the newness of life and that the land can be healed because you turn from your wicked and evil ways. The land is suffering up under you, and Yahweh going to let you eat the fruit of your own doing. But the Egyptian are men's. And you think the Egyptian can save you from sickness and disease. It is Yahweh that heals you. But you don't have a walk with Yahweh to know how to inquire of him concerning what to do with something that attack you. Because you can be healed. But you must serve him. You can't serve two masters. You can't eat from two tables. Isaiah chapter 30. Verse 1. And I want you to see what is taking place here in the book of Isaiah. chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, said Yahweh. That's you, if you're not serving him. Just like Jesse Jackson, Al Shaw, Martin Luther King, just like Minister Louis Farrakhan, just like the rest of them, Jesse Jackson. And Jesse Jackson is the biggest hypocrite of them all. With Al Shaw hanging by his side, looking like death is already walking, living in him, because he looked like the walking dead. That's the stress upon him. He's not going to escape judgment because he keep using his name. And his name is not in the will of Yahweh. The Yahweh name should be reverence and holy. He should have corrected that publicly, saying, I'm not reverence and holy. Don't call me reverence. That's Yahweh's name. Any man or woman, especially the women, because they should be at home. At the time of their flower, they bleed. Purification has to take place from what Yahweh brought upon every female. They're considered, if they come out of their house, they're going to be unclean. When they're in their house, they're clean because they're in their pleasant home. And their flower taking place of the administration of their body is doing a detoxifying to keep them clean and pure from month to month. That's why a man not supposed to touch them. Because it's in Yahweh's hand that he's bringing them through that. His name shall be called reverence and holy is his name. Woe to the rebellion children, said Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. Now they take counsel. They go and seek who advice they should heed when the sickness and disease is upon them. They take this counsel, but not of Yahweh. And they cover with a covering, but not of my spirit. They want to cover themselves with the counsel that they have got, but it's not of his spirit, is of Egypt, that they have put upon them to cover themselves in. But not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. They're adding sin to sin. If you add 1 plus 1, you get 2. If you multiply 3 times 2, you get 6. When you doing adding sin to transgression, you adding sin to abomination, you adding sin to lying. Sin is the transgression of Yahweh's law. Sin is already, we were already born in iniquity and shaped in sin. That's why we have to be born again. That's why we have to walk in the newness of life. But when you add sin as a transgressor, then what you're doing is transgressing the law to prevent you from adding more sin to your life. Because you add it by transgression as a transgressor. And then you take in the gold, the silver, the disease. You bring in fornication and adulteries because you're already born in iniquity shaped in sin. That's why you have to be born again. That's why you have to be converted. That's why your sin has to be blotted out. That's why you can go to church. You can call yourself whatever you want to call you. You're already in sin. But you add sin to your sin that came out of the womb. Because the parent was not holy. The parents didn't bring you up in the way they should go. The parents allowed you to be left to yourself. The sin can overtake you. So when you growed up, you went seeking after sin. You didn't seek after Yahweh. You set off sin to endorse yourself in. Verse 2. They walked to go down unto Egypt. They have not asked at my mouth. Now you go down to the hospital, you don't ask of his mouth. There's no one to counsel you. You don't want counsel. You don't want the instruction to be told to you before you enter into that place. Because when you enter into that place without Yahweh counseling you and telling you what you need to receive and not receive, what you need to do and not do, you're left to yourself to do it. Because they're going to give you counsel and they're going to tell you what you need to take. And have not answered at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. Pharaoh is the Egyptians, the doctors, and the physicians. And you trust in that. And that becomes your shame when you're destroyed. And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. Now, I want you to read more of this right here. I want you to understand what is taking place here. I'm going to read to you right here, verse 6. And I'm going to come right here at the end here and show you how you went down to Egypt and all these things came upon you more, adding sin to sin. The burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble, and the anguish from where come the young and old lion, the vipers and fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of your asses, and their treasure upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. This is how this is going to take place now. For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. Your strength was to sit still and wait upon Yahweh. He will renew your strength. He will give you wings like eagle, that you'll mount up above the circumstance that he allowed to take place because you turn to him. Repent means turn. Not from him, to him. To him. I want you to read this right here. I'm going to come right over here. Chapter 31. The next chapter of Isaiah. Chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. You're going down to them for help. Your help is Yahweh. If he allow you to go down, he allowed you to trust in him going down there because he's the one going to bring you out in your right mind. If you go down without counsel of him, you ain't going to come out in your right mind. You're going to come out in confusion. That's why your strength is, you don't know what to do, sit still until the answer come to you. Woe to them that go down, that means trouble. If you don't understand woe, it means trouble. To them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, stay in your vehicles now, and trust in charity, trust in your speed that you can get there real fast, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One to set upon one of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men, and not deities, angels of strength and might, their flesh and bone. And their horses flesh and not spirit. Ambulance, their horsepower to get them to and forth. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoped shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. Thus said Yahweh, spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring of his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, neither base lower himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hills thereof. That's why you will understand this right here. Verse 6. Turn you unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revoked. You about to repent. You about to turn back unto him whom you have revoked and turned from. Jesse Jackson can't do it. And you can't put him in heaven. He was a wicked evildoer. Wicked evildoer. And he will be cast that day of judgment into the lake of fire for his doing that he has done. And you are still following him. And you're looking for another leader to replace him. And the other leader is another man calling himself Reverend. For the black people, the Hebrews.